All right, what we have here is a video to describe submitting care sheets to your Village Caregiving office. This will be new as of 2023. This is something we will use to track our employee hours and basically get a better coordination of care for our clients, and ultimately this will result in better efficiency of care and quality of care for our clients. I'm going to walk you through how we are going to make our timesheets and submit them moving forward. So the first thing I want to talk about is pay periods. At Village Caregiving, our employees get paid twice a month, and they also have two pay periods. We call this semi-monthly pay. The first pay period of every month is the 1st through the 15th, and then the second pay period of every month is the 16th until the end of the month. There are 2 paydays per month. You'll get paid on the 5th of every month and the 20th of every month. As a reminder, if payday falls in a weekend, you will be paid early, not late. So, for example, let's use January 2023 to walk through pay periods and paydays. You'll see here highlighted in red, we have the first pay period of the month. That's January 1st through the 15th. All the hours you would work during that pay period, you'd record on your care sheets and submit to the office, and then you'd be paid on January 20th for that. The second pay period of the month of January would be the back half of the month. That would be the 16th of January until the end of the month on the 31st. All the hours you would record on your care sheets during this pay period, you'd be paid for on February 5th. Now let's talk about making your care sheets. These should look familiar to people who have worked in the industry for a while. A couple things of note that we'll go over. You will make one per client. I'm going to walk you through how to record the days, record the times, track your total hours, record the activities you do, share any notes, and getting client signatures. First things first, at the top of each care sheet, you will put your client's name. For example, we're using a client named John Smith. As a reminder, every client will get their own care sheet. So if during a pay period you worked 4, 5, 6 clients, that's great, but each of them will need their own care sheet. Here we're walking you through how to record the date and time. So for each care sheet, you will record the month that you worked with your client, and then the date you worked their hours. You can see on January 1st, I worked a shift with Mr. Smith from 8 a.m. till 12 p.m., and that was a total of 4 hours for that shift. Next, we'll go on to tracking the activities you do. You'll see on your care sheet there will be a list of activities that we can perform with our clients. All we'll ask you to do is each day track which activities were performed. If you assisted with grooming, mark the box. If you did not assist with bathing, do not mark the box. And so forth with our mobility activities, our nutritional support, and our environmental activities as well. So if you assisted with that activity during your shift, during that 4-hour shift, record that you did that activity by marking an X. At the bottom of your care sheet, you'll see there's some options to record some notes. If there is anything worth noting that you would like to share with the office staff or record for future use, you can do things like this. For instance, this client was hospitalized on January the 13th. It's your understanding that they're expected home on the 18th. You did miss your shift on the 3rd of January, but you notified the office like you always should, and you made up that shift on the 4th. That's something good for us to see when we go to payroll. You also might make note that your client reports feeling much better following their procedure last month. So all this stuff is good stuff to share with the office. Now let's talk about completing your care sheet. You saw what it looks like to do a care sheet for one day. Let's walk through the whole pay period. We're going to touch on completing the care sheet for each shift and obtaining the client signature. So let's say this is your care sheet with Mr. John Smith. You've recorded the 5 days out of this pay period that you worked with him. You recorded the time you got there, the time you left, the hours you spent with him, and the activities you performed with him, and you also listed the notes, some things that'll be important for the office to be aware of. This is what a care sheet could look like for a pay period. You can tell I went and saw this client 5 times throughout the pay period. I can clearly see what day I was there, what time I was there, and what time I left. Next thing I want to talk about is client signatures. All of your care sheets will need a client signature, and you'll need to put your name on the care sheet so we know who performed the activities. You will want to have your client sign your care sheet on your last day there before the end of the pay period. So if you know that your last day is going to be the 12th of January, will be the last day you're in Mr. Smith's home before the end of the pay period, make sure he signs it on the 12th. Same thing for all your other clients. Make sure that signature is on there before you submit the care sheets to the clients. They will need to be signed in order to be submitted. And then you'll put your own name, the caregiver, listed there at the bottom as well. So here's an example of a completed care sheet. We have the date of each shift. We have the time we got there and the time we left, the hours we were there in total. You recorded the activities that you did while you were in your client's home. You made note of a couple things that you think would be important for the office to be aware of related to your client, and then you had them sign and at the bottom and put your name as well. So now let's talk about turning in your care sheets. When we are turning in our care sheets, we are going to be using a new app to use this. We are going to be using something called Tiger Connect for us to submit our care sheets. You will want to use the Tiger Connect portal to send your care sheets to the office. It'll look very similar to a text message. You'll click on that message and then you'll submit your timesheets through Tiger Connect, which will automatically send them securely to the office. If you have any questions moving forward about care sheets, please don't hesitate to reach out to the office. Thank you.